Hi, I'm Kaylee, and this is Sarah. Welcome to Our Mental Health by K&S.
Our purpose for creating this podcast was to hear about others' experiences with their mental illnesses,
How we can improve our mental health, and to spread more awareness about mental illness.
For this episode, we will be talking about depression and anxiety in adolescents and teens. We will be interviewing a special guest named Caitlin Swan.
Warning, there is a mention of suicide for this topic. If you're uncomfortable with this, please leave the episode. To clear up more on what depression and anxiety are, I will be explaining what depression is and some symptoms. Sarah here will be explaining what anxiety and some symptoms are. I'm going to clear up some things about depression. Depression is a common and serious illness that negatively affects how you feel, the way you think, and how you act. Depression causes feelings of sadness and or loss of interest in activities you once enjoyed. It can lead to a variety of emotional and physical problems, and also can decrease your ability to function at school and at home. Please note that if you are experiencing severe depression and you have suicidal thoughts, please try to get a hold of someone and communicate how you are feeling. Please talk to someone you trust or someone who is willing to help you.
I'm going to be talking about anxiety. Excessive anxiety and worry about several events or activities. The intensity, duration, or frequency of the anxiety and worry is out of proportion to the actual likelihood or effect of the anticipated event. The individual finds it difficult to control the worry and keep worrisome thoughts from interfering with attention to tasks at hand. Somatic symptoms frequently are associated. Social anxiety disorder, marked and persistent fear of one or more social or performance situations, provoking symptoms of anxiety and causing extreme distress or avoidance of the situation.
As a child and still now, I suffer from depression because of some things that have happened as a child. I struggled with my parents. My parents were the main reason why I didn't really have much of a childhood. I was always told that crying was bad and that having certain emotions was bad and that anything you did had severe consequences. And so I grew up thinking that I had to be perfect and I had to be everything everyone wanted and needed. So I grew up in a pretty toxic way. I also grew up with a lot of things that probably shouldn't have grown up around. Most people nowadays always ask me if I'm depressed, and it's kind of hard to explain because I am, but I'm not at the same time, because some days it's hard to just cope with everything at one time. So some days it gets really hard, and it just doesn't make sense.
That's like heavy depression, actually.
Well, dang. Well, I do go to therapy twice a month, actually. I've been trying to get in so I can go sooner, because some days it's hard to just not be able to talk to someone, and I don't really like talking to my parents as much as I used to, because it's uncomfortable now that I'm older, and I have things that my parents didn't go through, and I've done things that my parents have probably never done. So it gets really hard. But that's my experience with depression. and mostly anxiety. Sarah, I think it's your turn.
So my experiences with depression and anxiety, so I have like really, really bad anxiety. Like I have anxiety about literally everything. I have anxiety about talking right now. So primarily my anxiety, it stems from the fact that I'm not that good with people. So when I have friends, they're like really, really close friends to me.
By the way, we also apologize if there's a lot of coughing. The flu has went around the school, so it's kind of hit everyone in our friend group. So if you notice we're coughing or we sound kind of like stuffy, it's because we're still slightly getting over the flu.
Yeah. My voice is kind of cracky right now.
Yeah, I can tell. I can tell that.
So depression is our main.
For right now, we're gonna have a separate episode for
The entire different types of anxiety.
Yeah, I think I just wanted to get this one out because it's more of a generalized illness or mental disorder with people, especially adolescents and younger children.
Yeah. So my experiences with depression, this gives me anxiety just talking about it. So I've been depressed since I was like a little kid. I was diagnosed with crippling depression. Not crippling, oh god. It feels like crippling depression. Chronic depression. Not crippling.
That makes more sense. Crippling depression. Da, da, da.
It feels like crippling depression. It's not crippling depression. Don't take my word on that. So I was diagnosed with chronic depression when I was like 7. And so I have like really, really battled with my depression for a really long time. It's just getting better ever so slightly. I guess what triggered it was because I'm the youngest child in my family, and everyone always states that the youngest child is the most spoiled, right? But I was quite literally the opposite. I was the child that was the youngest and the scrappiest, and I didn't exactly get what all of my older siblings got, you know? Like, they would be given this big meal, and I would be given a smaller portion, like a way smaller portion of, like, ramen noodles or something. And needless to say, it wasn't the most delicious as I was little, so.
Yeah, that's kind of funny because mine's is the opposite. My little sister is actually spoiled. But I grew up being told that the oldest has the most responsibility and they have to do everything, and then they have to make sure that everything's okay, and that they have to make sure their siblings are okay and their mom and dad are okay, and you have to make sure to do all the responsibilities and all the chores in the house. So I get stressed very easily because of some of the things that were said to me as a child, and that's also part of my anxiety is because I can't socialize with people because I don't know how to, because I was never really taught as a kid, and it makes it worse that my mom is a social butterfly, so she's always like telling me, well, it's not that hard to go make friends, just go make friends, but it's extremely hard for me to make any friends. So if anyone has that issue, I completely understand, because making friends is so hard for me, especially growing up and going to middle school. That was the worst 3 years of my life. I struggled with making friends, and a lot of the friends I had ended up leaving me in the end and making up a whole bunch of random rumors about me. So I
I'll
completely
never leave you.
understand. I know.
I will be here
I
when
know.
you are old and gray.
We're just gonna be grandmas at the dining table yelling at each other because they're using a fork wrong.
Yeah.
Oh. And we're just gonna watch our grandchildren run around together. and be weird.
Grandchildren? You mean my great-great-grandniece and nephew? I'm not having children.
Well, you can watch my children run around
Yes.
and chase their children.
I will be the co-grandma.
Okay. That's good enough with me.
Yeah.
I love how we're doing this on our podcast.
Kalo.
Nice. Okay.
But like where my depression comes from most is like I said with that. But not to throw any slander out there to any good Christians, but my grandma and grandpa were like super Christian, like the type of Christian that try to, force their religion on you. And my grandparents liked to try and force their religion on me. Especially because even since from a young age, my parents have been able to tell, and literally everyone else has been able to tell, that I'm very queer. I'm definitely not straight. Everyone can tell that. And my grandparents keep trying, even now, they keep trying to revert me and stuff. So. And my grandparents keep trying, even now, they keep trying to revert me and stuff. So.
Relate with them on certain things, but my parents understand that I'm an atheist, even though they still force me to go to places and do things God related, and it's kind of hard for me. So I can see where you're coming from, but I don't understand the whole being forced into it, trying to get converted forcefully.
Yeah, I totally don't understand why people force others to go to places where they clearly don't want to be because they don't relate with that.
Yeah, that's been happening ever since we had some family issues and things got out. But is that all you needed to talk about for your experiences, or did you have more?
I have a bit more to my story.
Okay, that's fine.
We can cover it a different time if it'd be easier.
Well,
but
we also gotta keep it to a certain length. So
true.
last time we went over and it was fine with her because
Yeah.
we went to 30. I think she said under 40.
Yeah. So, not only did I struggle with the whole Christianity part of it, but I've also told you about how I'm not really the most thought of child in my house. And it just gets lonely and hard to deal with. And school has taken a giant toll on me, actually. A huge toll.
Yeah.
The amount of people I've dated and then gotten my heart broken via that person,
I get that.
it hurts.
It really does. It truly does, especially when everyone in school knows you now and you're kind of just pushed to the side and told an outcast because of some things. It gets rough, but I think that our next step is helpful advice, right?
Yeah,
So
I don't know, life has kind of just gotten a bit hard for me recently.
That's understandable.
Because of the tea person.
yeah. Helpful advice, I would say, do your best, no matter what. Always remember that what you do is for you, and that you should always take care of yourself over anyone else.
I look like a total baddie today. Excuse me. I think I know that more than most people because I am purposefully looking like a baddie today. One to help get my mental health a little bit up higher.
And your confidence.
And my confidence. But also two, so that way I can make him jelly and make him regret the fact that he broke up with me yesterday before school even started through text messages.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's the shittiest part about things.
So, I'm trying to up my spirit today.
I was gonna wear a skirt today, and I was like, nope, not doing it. So I threw
today.
on some jeans that look really good on me today. And I tied up my shirt a little bit, but I don't really like my stomach at the moment. I'm working on that.
Me neither.
But I think another thing of helpful advice is to be positive in some ways. Try to be positive. It can get challenging because of the way things are sometimes, but some days you just have to take that positivity and make it your own.
Health days.
Yes, mental health days are also really good.
Those.
Absolutely.
Don't necessarily skip school for your mental health days like I've done.
Snow days, those are good mental health days because you don't have to worry about anything. Like, you don't have homework, you got nothing to do, and you're stuck in the house.
And
so weekends are good too.
Yeah, you can go on a whole AF mental health weekend.
Mm-hmm. Or you could literally just, like, come home from school and be like, okay, I got my homework done, I got everything I need to be done, and just take the rest of the night off. Wipe clear.
Take some time to calm down, try and wipe the slate blank, and just be yourself. Let it all out.
Yep.
Even if that means crying and screaming your lungs out.
You can also do that in school by turning off your phone or turning off the notifications on your phone and just paying attention to school. Because, like, some days, school isn't that bad. You just overthink it. I think that most people overthink it some days, but school isn't that bad. Like, if you were to just actually pay attention and know what the teacher is talking about, it comes a lot easier than people think.
Yeah, but the bullying never truly stops now, does it?
No, it doesn't. But then again, you also have to just bear through it because you just have to ignore them, to be fully honest.
The relationships in high school and middle school never truly last. So even if a person in middle school and high school pick on you or bully you and stuff, they're not going to be around in your adult life.
Honestly, they're just... And not gonna lie, maybe you'll become friends with them later on. I'm friends with the kid that bullied me in middle school and elementary. Not you. I'm talking about...
No, I know it's not me. I made my bully afraid of me.
Yeah.
Remember the other T person?
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense now. Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah. He was bullying me and he was harassing me. 'Cause remember, he used to, like, touch my hair, and if that's unconsensual, that is a form of
harassment,
like assault.
Because it's still physically touching you.
Yeah. I told him to stop several times, and when he didn't, I ended up chasing him out of my home ec class. Nice. Literally, I chased him around the freaking school. Sorry, I was about to swear. Like, I chased him around the school, and I made him afraid of me in 6th grade. He hasn't messed with me since, and we're in 10th.
That's true. But, I think I went to my parents about the one girl that was bullying me. I'm friends with her now because we ended up being friends anyways. But, so what happened is I went to my parents, and they went to the school and, literally chewed out the principal because this has been going on since, like, kindergarten, and I was in 6th grade. So, it wasn't fun. in your life who end up walking away, and maybe they'll leave, maybe they'll come back. It just depends, and sometimes you just have to bear with the fact that not everyone's going to stay and that everyone goes their own separate way.
Yeah, I mean, like, no one's ever gonna, like, truly stay forever. Like, first, we all die.
That's true.
So, there's that. But second, like, the people who are in your life now
They
most
might not be
likely
there in
won't
5
be there.
years.
Yeah. And in 5 years, you'll have new people in your life.
Maybe people you trust more, or maybe just people you consider family. Like,
Yeah.
I consider you and Kate family. Like, you're the best things that happened to me. But then
Same.
again, things could happen, and we could lose contact, especially when I move. Like, we could lose contact. But I'm not letting that happen. Absolutely not.
You're always gonna be my sister. You're better than all of my other sisters.
That's true. Okay.
Like my actual biological sisters and my adoptive sister. You're better than all of them because you're actually there for me. You know, you feed me, you give me food.
I give you clothes, woman.
Yeah.
But anyways, do you have any more helpful advice for depression and anxiety?
Just try and keep calm. I know that's not always the easiest, but when you're having a bad day, take a moment to like just step back and assess the issues and assess the damage if there is any damage done.
And I think that it's also best to simply just talk to someone. It could be a school guidance counselor or a therapist or anyone really. Like someone you can truly trust or someone that you know will help you. I think it's best to talk to someone rather than keep things in because it just builds up and it can get bad. And I think both me and Sarah know what that feels like. We both know what it's like to bottle up our emotions.
Oh, yeah. You're
But-
speaking to a person who's currently bottling up the tears, so...
Okay, well, guys, we are excited to hear about Caitlin Swan's experiences. Caitlin,
Hello.
tell me about yourself.
So, I myself, God damn it. I myself am a pretty anxious and depressive person. Same with social anxiety in that mix. And the like.
Can you tell us some of your strengths?
My strengths, I think some of my strengths are able to keep to myself maybe, and not let social anxiety or depression, anxiety enhance my movements as what they may be.
Do you struggle with any mental issues?
Yes, I do. As I previously have stated, anxiety, depression, and social anxiety are main three, I'd guess.
How is your mental health at this very moment? You don't have to answer if you don't want
If
to.
it's too personal, you don't have to answer.
I'm comfortable with answering. My mental health at the moment, probably on a scale of 1 to 10, I would say probably around 5 or 6 in the middle. Not too bad, not too good, etc.
How do you handle challenging situations?
Usually I cannot do that, and I'll try to de-escalate or defuse the situation as quickly as possible. And if not plausible, I tend to hide away and remove any other part of what may be going on.
What was your most challenging moment in school? Sorry for that.
It's alright. I think my most challenging moment would probably be coming to the school and realizing what may happen, what I may get into. how are people going to treat me, stuff like that.
How important is self-care to you?
To me, it is not that important because I don't have high spikes naturally. But I will probably do it every once in a while, if I'm too stressed or just feel like I need to do something.
What's one thing you think you need to work on?
One thing I need to work on, definitely trying to handle self-doubt and anxiety and, yeah, definitely.
Are there any other things you would like to add or previously catch up on to might add some extra details?
I'm not exactly sure if maybe adding kind of more descriptive would be helpful, maybe?
Quick question off the top of my head.
Sure.
What's it like having depression and anxiety at the same time?
To me, it is a constant battle of, oh no, what's going on to, I don't want to do this. Constant battle, constant highs and lows. Can be funny at points.
I have a quick question. I'm so sorry, Sarah. But have you ever gotten to the point where you just give up entirely and you kind of seek that one special person to help you?
Oh, most definitely. It has definitely happened. I have had points where everything has, in my terms, gone to the absolute
Butthole.
yes, absolute darkest pits. And I do try and seek out.
I'm so sorry. Okay. Okay, back on track. Finishing.
I have definitely tried to go and seek out people who I am most close with to help with this stuff. And if I do not feel that type of thing to do, I will go and check up on them, see how they are doing, see.
So I did that a lot. I would go and push everything else aside. So just from another person's perspective, think you were a person's perspective of you're the person who knows that person is going down the hill, what would you do for them?
I would try my best to be there at every step of the way. Even if they didn't really need it, I would still try and help. It's in my nature. I can't help it.
Do you believe that even when most teens or adolescents not show it, do you think that most teens deal with depression and anxiety a lot?
Yes, I would say so. Society itself is pretty down low. So I would say, yes, most might have to deal with that.
What would be the most common reason for that?
I would say people, beauty standards, any type of very standard for society. I guess people not really fitting in the norm, as people would say, even though I'm not all about that either. Yeah.
I get that. Do you have anything else to say, Sarah?
So I was wondering if you'd like to tell us any of your stories.
Any of my stories.
Because we have both shared our stories and
shared
experiences.
Our stories behind our depression and anxiety.
And I was wondering if you would also feel comfortable with sharing.
You don't have to share all of it, just little tidbit. But we'd like to get more insight about how trauma from their past makes the future issues.
Okay, I kind of get that. Try my best not to overshare.
You're good.
I'm a doll at that.
And if you really need us to, we can cut out any part.
Yeah, I promise. We can just edit parts out. Sorry.
I would say how trauma would affect people, later on. For me, I do need quite a bit of reassurance. And and I will never ask for it. Never ever. I will constantly try and seek it out. I'll constantly try and seek it out, even if I'm not intending to. Example, sending stuff that hints at it, or, catching up on the other person if I needed to, stuff like that. And if I do not get that, I will kind of shelter away. I will try and do it myself and not ask.
But sometimes it's good to ask for like
Yeah.
human like reassurance because it's like it feels so good even though you know they're probably lying about it.
Yes.
And you're like, ah.
Yes, I've done that a lot. Saying things out, hey, I love you, or you mean a lot to me, etc. is what I do, and hope to get that stuff back.
I know that most of our conversations are kind of like that. Like I don't say we seek each other out when we need help, but we do seek each other when we need help. Mostly on the daily because we just need that reassurance that we know that someone's always there to listen. And I think that through our friendship, it's been like that, our entire friendship with all three of us, definitely.
Definitely.
But I think that sometimes now we've all kind of like shut off with everyone because we've all been dealing with the same people, and it's kind of just been a struggle with all of us.
It's been a whole mess of things.
But I think that we all are starting to like block ourselves out from each other, and I think that's one reason why we're not sticking together as well, like with our entire group.
Plus, human interaction is a thing that no one can like fully
No.
get away from because
Yeah.
we all need human interaction.
Sadly,
what?
yes.
Interacting with anything like human or animal is always good for a person's mental health because like because like you know, you need something there. Like when you have a fuzzy animal with you, it's always just, you know, nice and comforting.
Yes.
But if you have someone to actually talk to you and communicate with you, that just, you know, fills something inside of you.
Especially if you had an awful childhood. Like, I never had, like I said previously in the thing, I never sought comfort as a child. So I use blankets and people that aren't really family. And, like, that's why I stick to people I don't really trust as much, is because I never got that comfort as a kid. So I get stuck to the bad people that give me comfort just because they want something out of it.
Yes, I've done that as well. Not very often of times, but I have.
Well, thank you, Caitlin, for coming here and answering a few of our questions.
Thank
Enjoy the rest of
you
your
so
day,
much.
and goodbye. Love you.
Bye, love you.